Sometimes I think vehicle pricing guidebooks get a bad rap, and often I think it's simply a case of not understanding a particular guidebook's perspective. By perspective, I mean what level of the wholesale used vehicle market a particular data provider is referencing with their values. There is no single wholesale market. Rather, there is a wholesale spectrum that ranges considerably depending on where in the spectrum you are buying, selling, or trading. For instance, if you were trading in a vehicle and using what an elite seller at an elite auction, say BMW Financial at a Highline sale at Mannheim Auto Auction, could expect to get for that vehicle as your benchmark, you would probably be in for a rude awakening. The trade-in level is on the lower end of the wholesale vehicle spectrum. I don't have to tell you that in most cases, dealers are not making enough on a new vehicle sale that they can afford to lose money on a regular basis on trade-ins. And they're at the lower end of the spectrum because however they choose to dispose of that vehicle, they're going to incur some significant cost in doing so. Basically, they have three avenues of disposal: keep it for their retail lot, sell it to an independent wholesaler, or take it to an auction. If they choose to keep it for retail, they're going to have to run it through the shop, probably do some minor cosmetic work, probably tires. When was the last time you traded a car that didn't need anything? Yeah, I just did the brakes and rotors, tune-up, including wires, oil and filter, put new tires on, had a few dimples fixed, painted both bumpers that were a little chipped up, even had it detailed. Now I want to trade it in. Right. Figure in the $1,000 neighborhood. Or they sell it to an independent wholesaler who needs room for a profit when he resells it. Figure at least $500 check to check. Trust me, you can't sustain a wholesale business on less than that as an average, no matter what your friendly local wholesaler has been telling you all these years. Or they run it through an auction, probably a local one. What with transportation, cleanup, registration fees, seller's fees, management time, it will also cost $500. So a trade-in value is appropriately on the low end of the spectrum, quite different from an auction perspective that attempts to assess what a vehicle would do on an average day, at an average time, in an average lane, at an average auction. And that can be quite different from the higher end of the spectrum, which would reference a well-prepared vehicle at an elite auction from an elite seller with the kind of lane position and optimum timing that elite sellers have earned. So from time to time, we get the phone calls from the subscriber that tells us we're way low on a particular vehicle. I always ask them to give me specifics. And most of the time when they do, it turns out to be a pearl white and tan, optioned out, 15,000 miles to the good example that does well over the book. Usually when I factor in the color, options, miles, the fact that it was sold at auction to an appropriate end-user dealer, our values make sense from a trade-in perspective. This is not to say we are perfect. No book is, nor is auction data, by the way. Overall, though, we're very comfortable with our values and feel our subscribers are too, as long as they understand our perspective.